And now I'm going to jump straight into emails here. So this is the A8 assignment, okay? The A8 assignment asks you to use these text strings to create functions that will pull emails out of a string of text and put them into an array. Now, what does every single email have in it? The @ sign. Without fail. If it doesn't have an @ sign, it's not an email. Now, there are things that have @ signs that are not emails, but we'll get there in a minute. Every email has an @ sign. So that's like the widest bucket. If it doesn't have an @ sign, we know it's not email, we can throw it away. Any word. So the first thing I want to do is I want to look for strings that have an @ sign here. And earlier in the week, when we dissected the Taylor Swift and Abraham Lincoln text, right? On Monday, we weren't looking for anything specific, but we were counting like word links and stuff like that. Now, if I split this string using the spaces, then I can look at each word and ask if it has an @ sign in it. So let's just do that. So if I want to find the emails, I am going to first, okay, and I'm giving this a string called str haystack. So I'm going to, this is the string that I'm going to process as a parameter. So I'm going to go AR words equals str haystack dot split. Okay. And that is going to give me a list of words. And then I'm going to iterate through those words using a for loop for str word in AR words if str word dot find. So if I use find on each word, so I go through each word and say we're going to use find to find an @ sign in that word. It's going to do one of two things. It will return the position of where the @ sign is at in that word. So it'll return an integer. Or if it doesn't find it, then it returns a -1. And that's useful to me because I need to find anything where the answer is not -1, right? Because anytime it finds an @ sign, it will be something other than -1. And that means it could be an email. So let's print str word in that case. Find emails. Okay, so I am just going to run this. That's it, just one function, and I'm going to call that using strtext1, which is this first line of text. So it'll split it, and then it should print out every email address. Oops, unless I'm still running the rock, paper, scissors program, in which case it'll just play rock, paper, scissors. There we go. So there it is. It went through and pulled out all of those spots where there was an email address in that whole big long line of text. I could do the same thing with the second one, strtext2. And now I get other email addresses. You can see all of these are email addresses, right? But there is some of these that have extra crap in them. So the next step of this assignment is to go through each word, and you're going to need to figure out what's crap and what's part of the email address. Well, there are rules that every email address must follow. In other words, before this, there has to be something, and only certain characters are allowed. Letters, numbers, underscore, hyphen, period. Those are the characters that are allowed. Anything else should go away. And if you start here, see if you can figure this out. If you start here at the @ sign and you go this direction until you find a character that's illegal, then you can throw away the rest of it. So that works for this, right? I'm going to start with, we know it's dave@hotmail.com. So I go EVAD, that's trash. Everything before that is now trash because it couldn't be part of the email because that's an illegal character. If I go this way on this one, hotmail.com, an email can't end in a period. So that's something to test for. Is the very last character a period? Because if it is, what that means is this was just an email at the end of a sentence. But this, if you put it into an email sending program, will throw an error because that's an illegal email. So you want to figure out what are the things, looking at this as a pattern, what are the things that we can see here that we can go and process these? Can we get these all cleaned up? So that is the assignment. Okay. There's not a ton of coding involved, but there is some sort of thinking about what are the patterns and how are those string methods used to identify those patterns and get rid of the garbage characters in those email addresses. This part's relatively easy. But now you got to figure out how to put this into an array, go back through that array and look at each email address, right? So that is assignment 8. So spend some time playing around with it. And if you have a theory or an idea that you want to bounce off of me, you can always inbox me and talk about it. But if I had a choice between working on assignment 6 and I didn't understand assignment 6 or working on this one, I would do assignment 6 first because working through assignment 6 will help you build into this. Okay? So that's it for lecture today. We've got about 45 minutes left.